Hello everyone, this is me Ayunda Rizky. In this session, I would like to tell about the story about a princess. I think that all of you had known about the story of princess that had long hair. Yeah, this is the story of Rapunzel. A long time ago, there was a husband and a wife who did not have any children. They always hoped for God to give a baby. But in one day, the wife began to get sick and missed the most beautiful plant called rampions. And more days, she was asked to bring more rampions, and finally, the husband was found to give cotton an ancestry's rampion, and she was really angry when she knew that her plants was stolen by another person. With fear, the husband told the ancestors that his wife will be died if she didn't eat any plants, so that the ancestors getting softened and gave the plants to give with the compilation that when they had a baby that was handed over to the ancestors and she would take care of it as a mother, and without thinking the husband agreed to it. When the wife was pregnant and she gave a baby, the ancestors immediately come to the house and bring the baby, and she gave the baby's name as Rapunzel. So Rapunzel grew into a beautiful girl and smart girl. When she was 12 years old, the ancestors put her in a high tower without being given a ladder or door, and only had a small window. When the ancestors wanted to come into the tower, she called Rapunzel to lower her hair down. One day, there was a prince who heard Rapunzel singing, but he didn't find where Rapunzel is. Every day the prince came to the jungle, and he finally found that there was a beautiful girl live in a high tower. He tried to call Rapunzel's name, and she lowered her long hair down, and because of it, the prince can climb to the top of the tower. Every day, the prince does the same thing, and he says that he will marry Rapunzel. The prince brought Rapunzel's silk thread to be woven as a silk, and after that, it will make Rapunzel can get out from the tower. But that was known by the ancestors, and she got very angry. She was alienated Rapunzel in a distant desert. The prince learned Rapunzel was lost, and for years he wandered in the woods to find Rapunzel. In a desert with the twins baby, and then they back and return to the kingdom, and they live happily after. Rapunzel didn't live with the ancestors, and the theme of the story is a long-haired princess fairy tale. And this is the story explained that Rapunzel had not lived with her parents since she was a baby until she's being a child, and she lived in a high tower. She was alienated from the life of people, that she had a miserable life. But in the end of the story, she can find her true love, and she can live happily ever after. The reason why I choose this story, because I think that this is have an interesting side. why I said that this is have an interesting side, because this bring the lesson from people that listen or read or any kinds of it about this story. And this is told about someone who lived in a tower until she was baby, and she's being adult and became a beautiful girl. From this story, I think that everyone does have their own destiny. For example, in the story is Rapunzel as the main of the character. Uh, she was exiled on the tower, but in the end she can met with her true love, even though that we think how anyone could find it, because as we know that in the story Rapunzel lived in a high tower in the middle of the what's that, in the middle of the jungle. And I think that no one will know her, no one will know where Rapunzel is. But the story, there was a prince came to the jungle, and finally he found that there was a beautiful girl there. So yeah, I think that every people have their own portion. And even though she may have felt miserably all her life, in the end she could be happy, and that can be a lesson that life is not always sad and miserable. Maybe happiness hasn't come to us, so we always feel that life is not fair. No. Mm, I think that all of them have their own portion, and Rapunzel is an example that when we uh, passion with the task in our life, we will reap the happiness. And as a person, I think that mm, Rapunzel is the example for the patient person, because mm, if we think that there is no one will live happily in a high tower without meet with someone, or without having a life as a usual person. And have you ever think that in that story Rapunzel can feel that her life is a beautiful life, maybe, or a perfect life, because she can did anything in her tower, and she can singing, she can playing with their, maybe their own something that can be her friends, maybe. And yeah, uh, I do appreciate from the characteristic of the Rapunzel, because she had teach us that she should that we should have our passion more and more. And as a woman, I think that um, we as a person should live happily, and think that our life is a good life, and our life are better from the other person, and we hadn't compare our life with the other person as a Rapunzel, because of course that she hadn't met with anyone, so she can compare her life with another person. And I think that's all from the story, from my was it from my explanation. And thank you for watching. See you and goodbye.